He's so if that's maybe the dinosaur period was a period of getting the earth ready for man to exist on it, and God works in mysterious ways. But um, during all those periods of time, for him, it's just like a day, you know. So I don't know. A lot of explanations have to be. Uh, Definitely, people are asking lots of questions about that. That's one of the biggest questions growing up that I heard. So I just feeling it right now as I read this. Just want to throw it out. Glad I'm recording this because this is going to be proof to myself. Sometimes in my own mind, I feel like I've read something or I've tried to follow through, and I go, I know, I think I read it. And then that's why I always start over because my mind just goes, no, you probably didn't read it, man. You already forgot, or you need to start over anyways because it's like you broke your habit. You were doing good first 30 days, and then day 31 you just stepped away from your little routine and all fell apart. Well, what's cool about these video logs is it doesn't really necessarily have to correspond with a day. If I miss a day, I miss a day. I just come back and at least the video's going, oh, yeah, here's where you left off. Just start right here, bro, even if you fall off, because none of us are perfect. But anyways, let's keep moving on. So, and God, okay, so, I just kind of want cattle. Okay. All right. So on the fifth day, and the evening morning were the fifth day. So this was the waters. Now we get down to the creatures. And God made the beast, the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image. So I believe this would be the sixth day. What everyone refers to as the sixth day is when God made man in his, and he says in our. So it's interesting when that's another interesting thing I've always read in here, like let us. So I know how some people might interpret that. That sounds plural, right? Which would then, there's some arguments over that because then you believe in multiple gods, which would turn you into I forget what the word. I can't see how it's been a while since I've been studying. How y'all can tell, but but that's cool for anybody that's like kind of studying at my level or just asking similar questions that, sometimes you're afraid to ask questions. There's these scholars out there that'll come down and bash you with the Bible. How dare! And it's like, come on, man. I'm just trying to understand it, dude. That's it. No big deal. All right. And God made the beasts of the earth. Okay. God said, let us make man in our image. It's interesting, the wording there. Our. Who's the us? Who's let us? And God said, let us. Who's us? Interesting. After our likeness. Again, not my likeness. After our likeness. The likeness of what? What's that likeness? And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over the cattle and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. This is interesting right here. And I'm reading into this that he's giving this creation, man, who was made in his image or their image or whoever's image. And that image is what we have here, right? Like, why do I have 5 fingers and 10 fingers and 10 toes and 5 fingers on one hand? I was trying to say, but it's an image we're like patterned after. And he's given us dominion over everything on the earth that he's created. That puts us the birthright we have, I guess, right? Just being interesting. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. So here it goes into singular. In his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So now it goes into a singular, saying he's creating them, both the male and female. So somewhere here there's an image, a pattern, And it's both the male and female that are created after this us, whoever this us is, which would then be interesting to contemplate. Is God talking about a woman here when he says us? Because that would have to be an image, right? Um, so that another mystery, you know. Growing up, I've heard it said. I've asked about like, does God have a wife? You know, and I remember reading a bumper sticker. It's if you ever if you ever understand your wife, congratulations, you become God. Or something like that. Something to the effect that you're, in order to understand the woman you're married to, you have to be a god. You have to have godlike knowledge. um, but it's interesting, this pattern, and you know, I was kind of joking about that, but then it does make you think, like, after what image, and what does it mean by the us, and then here in the singular, um, like, curiosity. But the other thing I heard growing up is it's something that's kept from us at this point, or something like that. Like, um, it's interesting. I don't want to get into that too deep. But if we were to presuppose that God was speaking of a pattern, that of a woman, of a mother, of a wife, of someone that he loves, um, similar to any husband that would want to protect his home, or protect, like, that's what I heard. I heard the thought was, hey, anybody can make fun of me. And I know this is like probably going against all the feminist movement or something like, I don't need a man. But I mean, in a family situation, the man protects his job. One of his duties is to protect the wife and the children. And if someone is going to harm the wife, that's just no, right? And because when the wife is having children and stuff, she's in a vulnerable position. Like, she has to give birth, she has to bear the children, she has to raise them, and the man is like in a position, he's not in that position. He's not being incapacitated by a pregnancy, or being incapacitated by having to nourish, children. So his duty is to make sure, hey, to fend off anybody that would try to mess around with that arrangement. Um, and my understanding, it's one of the things that kind of hit me, was that the reason why she's a mystery and will always be one is because, or her name, or whoever she is, as that, like when you talk about blaspheme and things like that, or taking someone's name in vain, like that's something he'll just not allow, for her name to be known, to be trampled on. Trample on him. That's what he's saying. Trample on me all you want. Call me names, yell at me, do whatever, but never, never. You see what I'm saying? This is, that would be a no-go, because then you done overstepped your boundary, and I did all this stuff for you, created this plan, is gone, you guys are wiped, bye. You know what I mean? I don't have time for that kind of thing. So that was kind of I remember hearing that, kind of growing up, going, wow, that's pretty deep to think about it, like, from like a context of like the family, you know. Because it's weird, religious people want to separate this whole idea of God, and like make it almost unfamiliar, like he's some mist out there, like some unembodied entity, like we can't describe him, we're not allowed to, or else we're going to melt. And it's like, I think it's someone's trying to separate us from that closeness of understanding what our roots are, where we really come from, like that essence of family, that essence of being home, that essence of parenthood, that essence of meaning, of purpose, of understanding, of being in a family unit. And you know That's part of the test of coming here, I believe. Part of the test is to see how this is all a test, just to see how we're going to do here in the flesh, I guess. A lot of stuff there, man. Man, just I'm excited about reading this because now I'm like, it's making me think. All right, so let's get back to the image. God created he, him, male and female, created he, them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. Subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Interesting that he mentions all these other things that we're supposed to have dominion over. I don't see him here mention once to have dominion over each other, right? I don't see that here. Have dominion and over your like weakest members of your family, or have dominion over them, or have dominion over other tribes or other people that come out of other situations. You'll have dominion over them. Like I don't see that here. I see dominion over things he's created. So maybe he's presenting from his, what he's trying to show us is that his pattern is that everyone's who's made after his image has that birthright, and that each one is equal to the other. There is no dominion over the other, right? Like boss over slave or whatever,